Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. Welcome to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Series. Not the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, but the latest race meeting in the Ricmotech World Challenge. Here we are in Lexington, Ohio. 23 degrees air temperature, and the track temperature is slightly hotter, 30 degrees as well. Joining me in the commentary box for the next 135 minutes, alongside me, Adam Buff, is Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson. Starting grid on your screen now with the three different classes: the Porsche 911s, the Ford Mustangs, and the Mazda MX-5s. Alex, comes to you first. Mid-Ohio sports car course, bit of an undulating track, and I think the IndyCar series are here at the weekend. But yeah, what's your opinion of this circuit?
Yeah, I do like the circuit. It's got great flow to it. Overtaking's always very, very difficult, so you know it is a bit of a problem here.
And here we go.
Yeah, the rolling start, of course.
Are they going at the
I believe.
back straight?
I think they're going on the back straight, aren't they?
The official starting point, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the
Apologies,
IndyCar
Kevin. We haven't
races.
got his track guide done, but we'll try our best just to bring it up during the race. So.
We've got advert breaks and things, haven't we, as well? Chances are we'll have a couple of those.
Yeah, we have indeed.
But as they come up to the hairpin, Adam, it's going to be Brian Strotbeck who's got the honour of getting us underway.
Yes, it is. For some reason, I'm looking at pit lane camera. For some reason, I'll have to load the camera pack again. But yeah, here we go, getting set for the race to get underway.
Here we go then. Brian Strotbeck hits it, and we're away. 135 minutes, 2 hours and 15. 911s then into the back section of the circuit. Everybody's getting through okay. It's going to be a test, this. In Ohio, it's one of those circuits, Alex, where it's kind of non-stop round here, isn't it? As the Ford Mustangs are underway as well now.
Yeah, good start from those guys. But yeah, you're right. It's relentless around here. You just keep going and going and going and going. One corner leads into the other, so it's going to be interesting. And once traffic starts to build up, it'll be yeah, even more interesting. That's for sure.
Sorry, Adam. It's not like when we did the 24 Hours of Le Mans, where you got all those long straights to rest your arms and rest your brain a little bit.
Yeah, but nowhere at all on this track to rest, really, apart from that back straight, and even then there's a bit of a curve to it, so it's not as if you can take both hands off the wheel. Travis Schwenke gets the Mazda MX-5s underway here. He's got Bobby Childs in second, and then it's Chris Violet, and then Whitworth behind him there. Eric Violet, I should say, and then Brandon Whitworth behind him in 4. Edgar Sancinelli making it 5 Mazda MX-5s today.
I'm just adding him quickly to the overrides as he's missing, so why it's coming up a bit of a weird name on the
And we'll have a unique thing about the entry list today is that we will have every single driver on the timing tower overall. So what you see on that left-hand side is what you will get in the next for the next 2 hours and a bit. Schwenke then, first lap in the books in the Mazda MX-5 category. That lap time isn't too relevant right now because that includes the pace lap. But right now, it's pretty close for the lead in the overall category in the Porsche 911s. Just 0.3 of a second in it between Brian Strotbeck and Mike Dam. And Mike Dam, he goes from racing in the Mazda MX-5s like he does on most weeks in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series to the fastest class that we've got here in the Ricmotech World Challenge. So a bit of a polarisation for him. For him here.
And of course, he didn't have the best look, did he, last week? He disconnected when he was running in 5th place in the MX-5s. He didn't have the best race, actually, by Mike Dam's standards, but yeah, he'll get better lit. Kevin Ford's in the pit lane. What's that about?
Yeah, so TD must have had some problems, and oh no, so TD qualified it, wasn't it? Yeah, not sure.
Kevin Ford. It says on the events that Kevin Ford crashed.
But I think that was.
Well,
I thought that was
keyhole.
something to do with the pace lap, but let's have a look. Here it is on replay.
Oh! Oh dear!
Oh, and he just got tagged.
By the Rusty's car. Was that Mike Ruddock? Potentially? I think it is. And the car's absolutely destroyed. Amazing how much damage can be done. They look what mostly look like a side impact.
Well, I did say to him before we started the race, bring the car back in one piece. I was only joking. I mean, I didn't expect him for that to happen, but yeah, that's not what you want. But there is time for them to get back out there, you would think. But it's going to be potentially a long repair, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, it will get fixed, won't it? I think, but like I say, it's going to be a long one.
Here at the Mustang cast, and particularly the Meh Motorsports car of Clint Vigus with Piggly Wiggly on the front. That's not Looney Tunes, is it?
What a team name that is, though, Meh Motorsports. How did your race go? Meh.
Meh. Just need Bois and...
Bois Motorsports, that's it. What we need, Clint Vigus second place, Steve Brown in the lead then. He's for Turn 2 Motorsports.
Speaking of which, they're on their way towards Turn 2, the keyhole.
Yeah, it's quite a good overtaking place, this. Maybe in cars like this where there's a little bit more of a braking area than normal. But really, the main place, obviously, going to be the back straight. You can get it done, Alex, into the final section as well, the final complex of corners you can pass there. But you have to be brave.
You do have to be very brave. So, most of the time, I like to think of this one as if you're, if you get a move, it's kind of going to come when a driver makes a mistake out there more than anything. Counts on those mistakes.
Yeah, for instance, we're about to see Steve Brown come through. If we just wait with him, a couple of corners. This left-hander here, there's a vicious crest just on the exit here that he's just going over. There, you can see it. That's the kind of place that if you make a mistake there, then the driver behind can get a run into this final sector. And Adam, we've seen many incidents here with drivers bumping and banging, and in at the end of NASCAR road races as well here, controversial finishes.
Yeah, the final sector of the circuit does open itself up for opportunities like that, mainly because there aren't really too many overtaking spots in that final sector, so they've really got to get the elbows out and find one, or try and invent an overtaking opportunity. So I'm sure when it gets to crunch point in just over 2 hours time, we could be seeing some of that if any of the battles are pretty close. They'll be hoping that they don't get a penalty though, because Ricmotech series, the sports car series, and here in the World Challenge are pretty good at dealing out the penalties. Look at that, the Mazda MX-5 is getting lapped already by the Porsche class.
But what you don't know, Adam, is it's you that's handing out the penalties tonight.
There we go.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't.
Yeah, we are admin in the first hour. Of course, when Kevin jumped out of the car, he was going to take care of the rest. So we'll
also
we're being allowed.
We're being allowed to give opinion on crashes. Now I see. You know what I'm talking about. 8 minutes in.
But yeah, we have to now. This is the thing. We actually have to give our opinion on the crashes. But yeah, the first
difference in speed there. Jeez.
Wow. I bet the MX-5 is still better in the corners, though.
Oh, there's a Porsche off. It looks like Mike Dam.
No, it's not Mike Dam. It's is it
Gary Croft?
Gary Croft who's off. Yeah. Motion force 1. Let's see. Was it too much force on the accelerator pedal for him? And not enough motion? No, it was not enough force on the brakes, Alex, maybe that time.
Yeah, that's all it was, wasn't it? Just overshot the corner a bit there, so...
Well,
could have been a lot worse, I have to say.
Going through the outback in Mid-Ohio. And then behind him is Mike Ruddock.
Came to see that that Rusty's livery ruined a bit, and I can't tell whether there might just be a little bit of damage to the Flying Tortoise Motorsports car.
Yeah, there is. You can see the front's a bit crumpled. You see the Michelin sign, that kind of gives it away. It's a bit bent, like a banana. And there, look, you can see the damage visible on the left-hand side. I wonder if we can go back. Look at that. All crumpled. It shouldn't affect too much, though, Alex, in that that's not really an area of the car that kind of gets worked too much by the air.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay here. That's the thing. So.
Because it's kind of out of the way, isn't it? Because the air will flow past the wheel and kind of miss that bit.
Yeah, I think you'll be alright. And of course, it's not a huge straights down here where the air is going to have a major impact as well. So.
No. But Mike Ruddock closing in on Gary Croft, who might just be struggling with the tyres slightly, as we saw earlier on with Jake Blackall, Adam, that once you have a bit of a moment, once you get dirt on the tyres, you're prone to sliding. It's a vicious circle because you end up sliding more, which heats the tyres more, which makes it more difficult.
Yeah, it's the vicious cycle of this tyre model, isn't it? That's what I'm told anyway. Once the tyres are cooked, they stay cooked. So there's very little in the way of getting them back down again to operating temperature, and you just got to make the most of it and see what you can do. As we look at this great battle that's going on for first and second and third in the Ford Mustang category between Brown, Vigus and Wright, and we nearly could be 3 wide here.
Yeah, here we go then.
Just some company as well, aren't they? So that's going to make it even more interesting.
Oh dear. And the Porsches now, well, it's going to be difficult for them to find their way through because these two are taking up the entire sports car course here in Lexington.
There goes Vigus through.
Oh, is it going to be... Oh, there's almost contact between Steve Brown and Porsche of Strodbeck, leader, the overall leader. Mike Dam in second.
That's out Mike Dam a bit. Closed the gap down a few tenths of a second.
Oh, it's not easy though. Car 33, David Haynes, and the HJ Motorsports Porsche very nearly ran into the back of Leon Wright, I think that is. Sorry, not Leon Wright, of Steve Brown, as obviously he's lost the lead there. Yeah, the closing speed, as Alex mentioned, though, it's just quite massive between the Porsche and the other cars in this race.
There's been a couple of tweaks to the overlay, guys, so I just wanted to quickly mention those on stream. We don't mention, so obviously we've got the 3 different classes today. They're represented on the mini map as well that we can see. While we're on the overall class, you can see the overall points, but if I do switch to specific class, you can see obviously the leaders and the positions on the mini map for each specific class as well, which we made sort of switch back and forth throughout the race. An idea where the leaders are, and of course, yeah. So those in the yellow obviously are the Porsches, GT, 3 Cup cars, and then the Mustangs in the blue, and in the green you've got the MX-5s.
Well, of course, it gives a good idea of where the traffic is and where people are going to come out of their pit stops and everything we're going to see. We're definitely going to see some pit stops, of course, later on. Are we expecting 2 stops potentially, Alex, tonight?
Yeah, I think so. Let me just quickly consult the notes that we got sent from earlier on, just to sort of get an idea. Yeah, a couple of stops, I think, is what we're going to expect from most. Yeah, pretty much. I can't see him doing any more out there really. So
actually, it's very similar to the race we saw earlier on the channel.
Yeah, I would think so. Actually, it's going to work out very, very similar. So there may be some differences in strategy, but not too much. They are a little bit tighter on fuel figures than what they were on the last one. So there's less scope for you know, something unorthodox.
can hear the tyres sliding, Adam, as they go through turn 1. Nearly on the limit of the MX-5.
Good to see Eric Violet here. They get past, join for the EV Paints team, should also mention. Get the team's name out there. Trying to get past Childs here, going for the keyhole and onto the back straight. Obviously the Mazda's so good in the tow. See if this long straight at Mid-Ohio, well, this medium-sized straight at Mid-Ohio is long enough for the Slipstream to take full advantage here. They go across the start line, but the tunnel line, of course, is around the other side of the circuit. A little bit of lifting and coasting there, so it is a trend in most of the Mazda races, the Ricmotech Mazda races that we cover on Apex Racing TV. That the Mazda will be. He has a big slide there. It wouldn't be
one of these races without the lifting and coasting and a bit of fuel saving in the first stint. I think Violet's deciding to do that very thing. We do actually have a track guide. Is it worth doing the track guide now, Alex, and maybe taking everybody through what it's like to be, what it's like to do the full lap round here?
Why not? Let's do it. As it's just settled down a little bit for the moment, let's head on to Kevin, as he has just rejoined the race, so we'll the opportunity to get some airtime with the track guide as well.
Welcome, everyone, to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, located here in beautiful Lexington, Ohio. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today in the Ford Mustang around this 2.4-mile road course. This track was originally constructed in 1962 by Mr. Les Griebling. They inaugurated the course with its first races held in August of 1963. The course has continued to host sports car racing throughout the years, and today Mid-Ohio plays host to events from the SCCA runoff all the way up to the IndyCar Series. Well, let's begin our track guide around this fast and thrilling road course. As we get up through the gears here, you'll notice pit entry to the left as we cross the stripe at the flag stand and gear up and head down into turn 1 here. Very fast left-hand sweeper. Just want to brush the brake, get that car to rotate down at the apex so that you can get that good fast launch up onto the first straightaway here at Mid-Ohio. Overtaking opportunities coming up here into the famous keyhole. Very tight right-hander. Turn drops off here, a little bit of off-camber at exit. Want to get power down early because this takes you to the longest straightaway here at Mid-Ohio, the backstretch. Coming down into turn 3 here, very slight right in the middle of the straightaway. And here's where you'll see why Mid-Ohio is one of the most technical road courses in America. Down through the gears into this hard right-hander of 4. This brings us up into turn 5, known as Madness. Here's where it all begins. Blind entry over the crest, down into turn 6. Back to the left now, up into another blind entry. Turn 7, into turn 8, and then down here into an off-camber entry of 9. Another blind entry over the crest. Got to be very careful with throttle. Down into Thunder Valley here. Fast entry up into 10. Back to the left, full throttle. Let the car drift out to the outside. Back down through the gears into the carousel of 12. A lot of rotation here. Get to throttle early because this brings you out onto the front stretch, out of 13, and right across the starting finish line there. And there's your track guide, a very fast lap at Mid-Ohio. Thanks for being with us.
Welcome back to the Ricmotech Sports Car Series here on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Alex Simpson bringing you all the action from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in the United States. We can see actually there's a battle now for the lead in the Ford Mustangs. Leon Wright going up the inside into turn 4, Adam, and he's going to take it.
By 2 up to the top of the hill then. This is the roller coaster section, isn't it? And going to be back up the inside for Brown, I think. Wright's trying to hold it out around the outside, but I think the lead's going to change hands again as we head over the top of the hill. Watch out for Clint Vigus in all this. He might fancy his chances of joining the party here as we go through Thunder Valley under the bridge.
Wright had the high ground there, but Brown really
Right.
hanging it out round the outside.
And to the carousel for the lap 14.
Oh, you really could spend an entire lap going side by side. It's extraordinary. There's a contact behind
Vigus.
between Vigus and... Not sure who the car is. Oh yeah, Vigus got spun round, didn't he? By Stephen Thomas. Here comes Thomas now. This is... Is it going to be slightly controversial if he goes up the inside? He actually doesn't. So Vigus lives to fight another day. Chris Torman just behind him. He's having a good run so far. Well and truly sticking with these front runners.
This is the GTS.
That's something we
maintains
need to
the
get
lead
involved in
somehow.
or anything there, guys? I mean, do we need to take another little look at that back and
We can have a look.
see exactly what happened?
Definitely worth having a look. Oh, it's a bit
And net
clumsy,
code in
isn't
there,
it?
unfortunately, as well. So.
Not as if his race has been ruined.
No, he's kept his position.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say that's fine.
I think it's a racing incident anyway. I think it's... Yes, it's probably Thomas's fault, but it's just a little nudge, isn't it?
I don't think we need to be getting involved in that. I'll just ruin the race that we've got out there right now.
Oh yeah. No
Link's
need
not
for
going to
that.
mind too much. I mean, yeah, I'll be a bit frustrated, but still only 1.6 seconds away from the lead. So
Just looking at the point standings, it's Tyler Shiflett that is the official points leader in the Mustang category. But
remember, it
the-
is a team championship, so his team
that's probably going to
will
make
be-
things a bit confusing.
that will be
for me then.
leading it. So yeah, I think we need to have a little word with the guys trying to make head or tail of the Dan Lisa sort of tables there, because I think the classes are intermixed in there and everything. So it's kind of difficult for us to do that, but to get an idea on championship standards and things like that, head to the extrememotorsport99.com website /World Challenge. All the information on the series is there.
And I can inform you there of the strategy element for, or at least the tyres. We'll run you through the tyres first. We'll run you through the fuel a bit later on as we gear up for the first round of pit stops. Porsche drivers are required to take 4 tyres on at least one stop, as Chris Torman and Matt Catila get pretty close. Sorry, it's Stephen Thomas and Chris Torman. They may take only 2 tyres on their last stop, so we'll have to wait and see with that one. Mustang drivers will be taking 4 tyres on the first stop, then possibly only 2 when it comes to the final stop. So it's a sign there that the Mustang drivers will only be making a 2-stop race during this one. And Mazda drivers will take 2 tyres or possibly no tyres on the first stop, and then maybe 2 or 4 when it comes to the second round of pit stops. So that's an idea of how the tyres will be shaping out over the course of this race, which we have got an hour and 52 minutes left of, and we'll let you know what the fuel strategy is looking like when we get to the pit stops themselves, as Leon Wright continues to assault the rear of Brown.
Yeah, he looks fractionally quicker at this point, does Leon Wright, but got to be careful as well, because I mean, Vigus, for all the difficulties that he was in a lap ago, Alex, he actually he's only a second behind, so don't want to make any mistakes. Don't want to let him back into the fray, really.
Yeah, exactly. And not going to take long. I tell you, this is almost right there, just in that braking zone. Definitely inside the draft again now. That's just a bit of traffic coming into play, caused them to lose that couple of tenths of a second.
Of course, we have to mention this is a team race, so we do have driver swaps coming into play. We'll see those at some point. So there's a lot to factor in there, Adam. There's some drivers who could be quicker, could be slower, could be more consistent, could be less consistent.
Yeah. There's Strawbeck looks at the inside. The consistency will probably be the key around this circuit today, because there is lots of smoothness is key. Dan having to use a lot of that inside curve as he tried to negotiate his way past the Mustang leader. But no such issues for the Canadian, and the gap remains at 1.2 seconds between him and our overall leader Strawbeck. it's a bit of a gap now between Dam and Haynes. It's good a good 6 seconds, 7 seconds in fact, back to the third place Porsche. So the 911 starting to stretch their legs here as they continue to lap some of the Mustangs, one of which is that is Coffard, I think, is they going by?
Could be. Be Alex Coffard.
Might be Christian Ost, because it looked like he was leaving the pits.
Pits, so.
Yeah. Christian Ost in the well, I'm reliably informed that the surname does not stand for original soundtrack. But the Get Rex racing car is in 19th position.
Ost Curve.
Ost Curve?
Yes. Unfortunately, Get Wrecked Racing might be the nickname to go by because he is in last position at the moment. The drivers that are still running. Has Kevin Ford got it back out on the circuit? I think he has.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's back out on there in the Ricmotech Motorsports White, and
it looks okay.
Done a pretty impressive
somehow.
job of repairing that. Yeah.
I don't know what sort of hammer they used on that, but it's worked.
They definitely didn't use it on our Ferrari.
No.
Maybe. Maybe
no,
we had wood.
they're not sure about how to straighten the rear wing out. I don't think our mechanics.
Yeah, I think we had wood and pickaxe. These lots have got have got the stone or the iron, I think.
Can I just point out as well that Kevin Ford was quicker than the third place man on that lap, David Haynes. So the previous lap he was anyway. So he's extracting some kind of pace out of that Ford Mustang, Alex. And in 2 hours, well, he's 8 laps behind, so he's not really going to get anywhere. But he might still be able to, at least, have some fun trying to chase down the Mazdas and the Mustangs.
Well, I think that's his goal, isn't it? Really. So, yeah, he doesn't want to be beaten by the Mustangs or any of the MX-5.
And any of the Porsches
that
that make a mistake as well.
Exactly.
Maybe
if he can hunt them down, then he's got a chance to pick up a place in class.
If anybody has to have any repairs, Adam, that could be that's really the only hope of him getting more points than the ones for 6th place. But Travis Davies is going to go into that. He qualified the car.
The experienced veterans of the Mustang, really. So can't really ask for too. Oh, he's touch of irony. Safer pair of hands. Following the crash. Sorry, Kevin, but I'm sure from this point onwards, the car will remain untouched.
I'm going to watch that back later on and probably have a giggle at that.
Clint Vigas and Leon Wright are locked in a duel for second. I was just about to say that Vigas had found his way through, but now it looks like that Leon Wright has just found his way back into second place in the Team Street Survival Ford Mustang.
Mustangs are super close. And it's only 10.5 seconds between all of them, really. As you can see them all in the same straight there. So, Alex, it's pretty impressive after nearly half an hour that they're all still, virtually, they might as well be nose to tail, might they, do you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. In the traditional Ricmotech sports car series, we see them be quite close, but actually it's normally the MX-5s that are much closer, and actually that sort of pack is spreading apart a little bit this week, and yeah, it's nice to see the Mustangs doing well. I mean, it's don't know if having a slightly quicker class out there is keeping them more bunched up together like now when they're having to deal with the traffic and things like that. Maybe just causing something.
Because it's the drivers. Well, yeah, it's. It is noticeable though that they are. Yeah, they are much more uniform than normal. I will say that Travis Fenke is absolutely stuffing everyone in the MX-5s. He's 10 seconds in front of Bobby Childs already. So he's just decided, Adam, I'm not going to bother about the slipstream. I'm not going to bother about any of that. It's not a circuit where that's really prevalent, so I'm just going to go out and drive as hard as I can.
And rather worryingly for the rest of the field, Schwenke's got Tom Rafji waiting in the wings for when he gets in the car. So a very potent force that number 74 Ashbury Motorsports car. Just having a look and seeing if I can find out for you who's in the other MX-5s. Edgar Sancinelli is paired up with Michael Key. Go on, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think we had a problem for Christian Ost. It says he's crashed on there. It says he was off the track for at least 8 seconds.
Was that the cost? Oh, going to look at the replay. Here it is.
Oh, there it was. Just loses it. It seems going into the. That's the final.
That's the end of the back straight. Yeah, that's the end of the back straight.
It's an odd camera angle, isn't it? It's the top of the hill. Yeah, that sort of really that really flattened out the angle, Alex, of the hill, didn't it?
It did completely. It really made it look like it was the penultimate corner.
Yeah, look at that thing. I mean, I wonder if he could just get it in and get some repairs. Is he in the pits? He is in the pits now, and he's going to get those repairs. So, but we've seen them be effective for Kevin Ford with the Porsche, so if he can do that as well. Alex Coffard went off the track and continued, and he's still in 13th place.
Christian Ost paired up with Spencer Kemble for this one. So we'll see. We'll hopefully see Spencer in the car later on. Also, Edgar, who's in a fine? Bobby Childs is paired up with Jim List in the Mazda MX-5 group as well.
He's a very strong driver as well, is Jim List. So he's a good. They're both very evenly matched, Childs and List.
See them later on. Of course, Kevin Ford partnered up.
And who did you say Travis was teamed up with?
Travis Fenke. He's partnered up with Tom Rathje.
But it was. I think
that's a good partnership.
Yeah.
Close,
but I think List has definitely got, if I may say, I think List has got a little bit of an advantage in this second, once he jumps in. So
I think it's fair.
Maybe we'll see him come back, because Jim's been so quick this season in the sports car series, like so quick. So got a good chance of trying to hunt down this this gap. So this is why Travis is literally going for it and not holding back, I think.
Well, the way I see it as well is that. Because Rathje, we saw a big improvement from Rathje, didn't we, a couple of seasons ago, Alex, where he started finishing regularly in the top 5, where he when we started covering the series, he was well and truly in the midfield. So I think he's got every chance of hanging on to whatever advantage that Svenke gives him. But I do agree with you in the fact that I do think Jim List is slightly stronger as the Rusty's car, Michael Ruddock, comes into the pits. Intentionally or not, I think it was intentional. He's in, and is this going to be an early? It's going to be an early stop, but is it going to be an early driver change, Adam? I wonder.
Well, he's got Russell Ruddock as his partner. No surprises there, but I'll wait and see if they. I'll wait and see if they switch out.
Evenly matched, by the way. That's about as evenly matched as you can get. Is Russell Ruddock and Michael Ruddock. Michael Ruddock remains in the 95 car.
Very quick stop as well.
15.42 seconds. I mean, that's about what we saw earlier on, isn't it? In the GT3s, Alex, in the World GT Championship. That's roughly what we saw for a fuel and no tyre stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think some quicker ones were there, weren't they?
Yeah, the rules state that you've got to take 4 tyres in your pit stop. So, how quick it is that how quick it is to take 4 tyres in a Porsche 911?
Who knows?
Remember, it goes.
What you mean?
They change the tyres at the same time as the fuel. It's not like a traditional GT3 car with those rules. So yeah, they can do both at the same time.
Sorry, did you say they have to take 4 tyres, or did you say they probably will be taking 4 tyres?
I think if I get the rules open again, Porsche drivers are required to take 4 tyres on at least one stop.
Okay, so it won't have been that one, I don't think. Just based on that, I honestly don't think that would have been a 4 tyre stop, but could be wrong. But I just didn't see the actual stop in the box, if it were, as it were. Excuse me.
Another car leaving the pits. I think that was Ost again. As we look here at the battle for the lead, Leon Wright and the Team Street Survival 38 coming up against the GSRC leader. Going for the keyhole there of Steve Brown, Turn 2 Motorsports, just going through Turn 2. Turn 2 Motorsports B, I see that they're called on the overlay as well. Well, there's a few corners out there that are called Turn 2B, especially in the United States. As we go into the right hand at the end of the straight, here comes Wright, trying to get a move done. I think he's going to have a bit more of an overlap than that if he's going to try and get it done around the outside, but putting some feelers out there in the early going. We've still got an hour and 45 minutes to go here, so plenty of opportunity. Well, that's just under that, an hour and 40 minutes to go. Plenty of opportunity to do so, but before the first round of pit stops go, I'm sure Leon Wright would like to hit the front, especially when he's got a co-driver in Jennifer McDonald waiting to go as well, because they're looking pretty good right now.
Ian got a massive sideways moment, didn't he? As he come out of the down the sort of the crest there. So easy to do that.
There's battles going on in most classes at the moment. Battle for the battle between Eric Violet and Bobby Charles. I was just about to mention, and there we go, right on cue. It gets brought up. Bobby Charles sat in second place. He's got Violet coming towards him now in the 98 EV Paints MX5, and maybe don't rule out Brandon Whitworth, who sat there in 17th place overall, which is 4th place in class. Closing up under braking there, Violet.
Yeah, these two have been very close for quite some time now, but look to be getting even closer as the first round of pit stops approaches.
Now these lot
are in there for good measure as well, Mr. Ruddock.
These lot are in one particular group. Just looking on that track map, there's like a huge snake of cars going through the back section circuit.
There's literally what, 6 cars on the whole rest of the track, and they're all the rest of them are pretty much just there in one big group.
And what you can see here is the top two in the Porsches lapping the top 2 in the Mustangs. Mike Dam and Brian Strodbeck both getting past Steve Brown and Leon Wright yet again, and Wright sliding his way through that left-hander going into the carousel to complete lap 26. And I think he's got the gap down a little bit now. The gap has been over a second for the last few laps, but after negotiating all that, Mike Dam is now just within a second of Brian Strodbeck, and lap 2/10 of a second slower on that last tour of the circuit. But they've got a few more Mazda MX-5s to come up and lap now, and I'm sure they'll be hoping they can get them on the back straight, because otherwise they'll have to negotiate them through the back section of the circuit.
Well, that's what I was just going to talk to Alex about, actually, is that we saw when Mike Ruddock was trying to pass those guys in front, just how difficult it was in that final sector. If you get stuck in traffic there, it's one line, because they're not going to get out of the way, because an American series, so the blue flags are only, like I said earlier, they're advisory. And especially in mixed class racing, where the onus is on the car behind to do the passing, so you really have to pick your moments, because it's one line through a lot of it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. You have to be extremely and listen exactly what's happened to Brian, but you see, Mike can't go anywhere either. So
now he can, I think. Yeah. You have to thread his way through Thunder Valley. To do it carefully. Oh, it's a tough final sector anyway, Adam, without the cars being in the way. But obviously, not their fault they're in the way, but they just are.
Especially with the way some of the corners are cambered, if you end up on one side of the track rather than the other that you're usually used to, then things could easily go wrong. Especially as Dam gets all over the curb going through that first corner. With a little bit of a warning sign there.
It was 2.5 seconds he lost there in 2 corners, you know. That gives you an idea, and that's because of the difference in speed of the cars out there. So,
yep. If you have to follow for just a few seconds, a couple of corners, make all the difference. And we might see that at the end of the race when 2 hours and 15 minutes has elapsed. We're almost at we're not far off the 1/3 distance mark here.
Don't start counting it down like that. That's far too early.
Oh.
We'll be We'll be asleep before you know it. Start counting on 1/3.
Well, it is nearly, isn't it?
No one needs to know that. Not in this
Somebody
box,
needs to
anyway.
know how much time's left. Not us, though. It's 1:41 AM, let's face it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Right. What? Already?
Yes.
It's we're past the quarter mark. I can tell you that. So
Oh. Come on, Alex, you've got to be at least more annoyed with that quarter than the...
I know. It gets worse, doesn't it? It was a third a minute, now it's a quarter. I don't know.
We make a joke. We are enjoying the race, but it is obviously more difficult to enjoy a race at this time of the morning than it would have been at any other time. But you know, obviously, we do.
For those that don't know as well, obviously, there's a very British accents here because obviously we are commentating from the UK, and it is 1:42 in the morning here, so. We do get a little bit tired, but we do enjoy what we do, which is why we come back to this.
Why we do it
season after season. But
it's a good.
Yeah, sometimes we do lag a little bit, I think, with it. So I definitely will be hitting the coffee on about the hour mark, I think.
I must admit, I always feel a little bit bad that we don't always potentially do the league justice in terms of excitement, because we do try and be excited, but it's very difficult sometimes when it's, like I say, so early in the morning. So we are sorry if we're not bouncing off the walls with excitement when things happen, but we will definitely try to bring you all that. But
there is a bag of ice waiting to be.
And for those who for those who don't know, for our American friends and for anybody else around the world who in the far time zones of the world, it's we have a decision to make whether you go to sleep before the race or not every week, pretty much. And I usually do have a sleep, but I wasn't working today, so I had a bit of a lie-in. So I'm trying to do it in one go, but I didn't realise it was a 2 hour and 15-minute race that we were doing. So again, it's going to be interesting to see, but. Yeah, it's if the racing's as good as it has been so far, I think we might be able to, might be okay.
It starts really start happening, and we've got some strategies to start talking about that, mate. Get our brains going and things like that. I think that's spice it up. And while we are talking about it, of course, if you are interested in doing all the commentaries and things like that, and you want to get involved, well, we've got our doors are open. Heading over to the ApexRacingTV.com website, there's a little section in there about vacancies. We've got some open right now, and we're specifically looking for people in the United States. So, if you want to fancy, doing a bit of broadcasting, kind of like what I'm doing, controlling the cameras,
we can't leave the Canadians out,
Yeah, reach out to us. We're interested to get to sort of build our team at the minute.
Yeah, that's right, and specifically, pretty much for this series as well, because we do enjoy covering it. It is quite difficult when you do it week after week. Oh, and this is the problem now. The traffic.
Yeah.
And that's very good from. Oh, did he hit him?
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
I think that's the Mustang leader that did.
That is very, very close, and that's borderline. Is that from Steve Brown, isn't it, Alex? Just almost trying to force it just a bit too much.
And
close.
You always do, don't you? That's the thing. You always have to sort of get a little bit. You're in the faster class.
Oh, now the Mustang has to dart out of the way as the Porsche comes through. Suddenly, I'm not so big. You're not so big and fast now, are you, Mr. Mustang? When the Porsche comes through, it really does fly, and that's over 300 horsepower in that Mustang, Adam. It's it might be even more than that. It's a fast car. If that was on the streets, you'd be thinking that was fast.
I know. And that's even with.
Off goes Gary Croft.
That's the second time he's done that tonight.
That is. He's picked up a bit of damage as well by bolting over those curbs.
Oh, Yeah.
Talking about fast road cars, I was having a little look at what I'm hoping will be my potential new toy as well come next year as well at the weekend.
go on.
And that you going for the Mustang, Alex?
No, I'm going for an Audi RS3.
Oh, very nice. I thought you, by the way, if you do go for the Ford Mustang, I do know someone who has the 5.7 litre Ford Mustang. He has to carry the petrol station around with him.
Yeah. I don't think I could quite go there. So, but yeah,
I don't think you could afford the fuel, mate. To be honest.
No. But mind you, I think this thing's going to guzzle it as well. 410 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. So,
is that going to be around in time for Germany?
Well, no, I'm afraid it's not going to be in time. Maybe 2019. So maybe road trip and a little
Oh, there you go.
Little jaunt around the Nordschleife.
Could drive to Germany.
Well, that's it. Exactly.
That's
I could drive to Germany and take it around there. That'd be interesting. But I would have to say I would probably drive it like an absolute worst.
You'd have to know where you were going, which at least you do a little bit.
I do now. It's okay. I know where I'm going. I could happily drive around that at about sort of 75% and not, not kill us.
Question then: if we are on about Das Auto, even though that's BMW, isn't it? But it doesn't really matter. Is it the saloon or is it the
I have to have the hatch because
the saloon looks beautiful.
The saloon does look very nice, but yeah, I have to have the hatch because of obviously work and being able to load things into the boot.
Is the other one not a hatch though? We've been through this. We've been through this, haven't we? That I don't know what I'm talking about. The old saloon versus hatchback, but you know what I mean. The sedan version, the longer version, does that not have a hatchback?
No, it's just not got a great deal of. I mean, it has got a reasonable boot for like that, but yeah, big PC boxes, not so great.
I think this Ford Mustang right now is definitely not Vorsprung to Technik, is it? Is it going ahead through the going
it might be Vorsprung old Technik. I don't know what that means, but
it's being ahead through technology.
Well, there you go. So it's being behind. So it's whatever being behind through technology is what the answer is.
Or Or 9 Vorsprung to Technik as up the inside goes. Or if you put a comma in there, no, money down. Yeah, as it comes in the right. It's getting into Simpsons quotes now. So here comes Steve Conan and Leon Wright again. Class of 1 at the moment. Clint Vigus has dropped back a little bit in recent laps, and I wonder if when it comes to it, Tyler Shiflett, who is our championship leader, and is Clint Vigus' co-driver, you might be able to pull them back up to these two, who have really stretched their legs over the last lap. The last few laps, I should say.
Yes, and I tell you, Leon Wright's getting to. Leon Wright is quicker than Steve Brown, but every time they get to the traffic, Adam, it looks like Steve Brown just banzais it and decides he's going to. He nearly gets hit there.
Yeah. Wright just looks a little bit quicker at this moment in time. Maybe he's looked after the tyres a bit better than Brown. Don't see Brown too often in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series on the Monday night, so maybe Leon Wright has got that useful bit of experience on his side as through goes Mike Ruddock in his Porsche 911.
I did wonder why Leon took a rather odd line there in the final sector, but that made sense there, didn't it? All of a sudden, a Porsche appears.
I'm just having a look at Audi's website, by the way. Just having a little look at that. And yeah, it does look nice. I must say.
Yeah, my idea is get a black edition one, so in white, so with all of the trim and things like that in black.
Black edition in white.
Yeah, so it's white, but it's black edition. So all
it's the black
trim.
Edition.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I know, but all the trim is in black,
car,
with the wheels and mirrors and all that sort of stuff.
There's no mud in
You do realise, by the way, you're taking a white. You might take a white car to Germany. It's not going to come back white.
Yeah, maybe not.
I mean, as long as, especially if the house party goes on anywhere near it.
Someone's being sick up the side of it. That's gonna get. The asserted someone.
Oh dear, yeah. Who we are not going to name. We are honestly not going to name, and we won't tell you if you ask us. But yeah, it was. Put it this way, it was an interesting time that we had, and we're going again. So if anybody's going to the Sim Racing Expo, I will repeat what I said earlier on. Yeah. Come and say hello to us. You won't be able to miss us.
I would definitely sober Alex up, I think. If that happened. Travis Schwenke is in the pits. So first of the Mazda's in, and he was a commanding leader.
And in comes Alex Coffard as well.
It will get about 30 to 31 laps on a tank of fuel. That's what that's what it said in the notes about the Mazdas. But here we are on lap. That is probably 31 laps, because I just saw the lap counter said 36. But that's probably how many laps they are behind.
They are on lap 30. Yeah. They've done 30 laps exactly. So I must admit, I was thinking that too. It's lap 36. What are you on about? But yes.
Yeah. And Tom Rathje. So driver change has happened. Travis Schwenke is out, not out of the race, but he's out of the car, and Tom Rathje hops aboard the Asbury Motorsport 74. He's put a coin in, and away he goes. He'll be away for the next few stints. And the final stop will be about with 35 or 40 minutes to go. So expect him in another. Quick maths, another 50 minutes.
I can't obviously play that video, but I literally, when I was on the forecourt looking at an S3, that drove past me, and yeah, that's what sold me on that car. So down on four.
Well, that looks pretty good actually. Looking back on the video.
Yeah,
gonna have to go on Forza later and play that, or maybe in the morning.
It does look good. It looks quite big actually. It looks bigger than they used to be. But I guess all the hatchbacks are bigger than they used to be. I mean, have you seen? Again, this is, sorry to be slightly irrelevant, ladies and gentlemen, but have you seen the new VW Polo? It's massive.
Yeah, those things used to be tiny.
It's like a Golf now.
Yeah, it's
and the
crazy.
Golf is like even bigger.
Let's have a look. As Mike's down in a car that's owned by a Porsche owned by VW.
Something emissions something. Yeah, it's a Porsche is what's it called? In the Volt? Is it in the? No, it's not. No, I don't think Porsche's owned by VW, is it?
It started off as the Porsche 911 started off as a VW Beetle, so.
I'm pretty sure this is really bad. We'll be getting screamed at in the.
There you go. This is it. Volkswagen sell passenger cars under the Audi, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, Porsche, Seat, Skoda, and Volkswagen brands. Okay.
Crazy though, isn't it? How VW's factory is in Wolfsburg, and then Porsche's in Stuttgart. Completely, you'd think they'd almost be in the same place, wouldn't you? But that's crazy though.
Buying out teams or manufacturers for years. It's kind of like Fiat as well, because Fiat own a lot as well, don't they?
Well, yeah, but when they were contesting Le Mans between them, basically they were just the same company. It was a win-win situation for VW, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, completely.
Unless Toyota won, which they very nearly did and then didn't. But yeah, it's I tell you what, we have to go to the factory, the Porsche. We were going to go to the Porsche Museum last year, weren't we? When we didn't go. I think we should go. We should go to one of those places, because there's all sorts around there, isn't there, that we said we were going to go and do. Funny, because it's in the middle of nowhere, isn't it, the Nürburgring? But it's kind of a lot of things within sort of an hour, isn't there, really? But it's just bothering to do them, isn't it? And being sober enough to legally be able to drive there.
Not too shabby indoor go-karting track either. Took up a whole day.
That was very, very good. I need to lose some weight before we go back there.
Gary Croft, briefly said, was out, but no need to worry. You can see here that Jim List is now in the race, so he's taken over from. Who's he taken over from?
He'll
get there first. He got there. He took over from Bobby Childs.
Yeah, mate.
So
It's because we don't have the list anymore right in front of us. Oh,
yeah,
I mean,
I had to quickly open the sim bit up and have a look. But yeah,
we used to just be able to talk and dabble with the actual entry list, and yeah. But speaking of list, here he is. Now in 4th place. Michael Key is in the race as well for Rito Sport. Not like there've been any other changes. Just Mike Dam and Mike Ruddock have made one pit stop in the Porsche. Bit of an alternate strategy going on there. Bit of a John Allen strategy, maybe, Alex, for Mike Dam.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Oh, good battle.
He kept closing in, didn't he, on Brian? And I think that's probably why he thought, well, traffic keeps getting in the way. Maybe I should.
Chris Torman under pressure from Mike Monaghan. Monaghan going past on the inside. Torman doesn't fight it. I wonder, did he have a slowdown maybe, Adam, or was that just maybe a bit of fuel saving for Chris?
The gap had been coming down, but yeah, it looks like Monaghan has got the move done again. I think they've been swapping positions the last few corners, so we'll wait and see with those guys. They are one of the few they are the only class that's yet to see cars make a scheduled pit stop in. Everybody else in Porsches and Mazdas have all been in. Let me quickly get the fuel strategy up for you for the Mustang. We're expecting them after 38 or 39 laps, so we're now on lap 40, so they are really stretching their legs here.
Yeah, just in case anybody didn't know, just to confirm what Adam was saying. Oh, that's close.
50 to 60 minutes into the race. And we are now 55 in.
Sneaking past. Yeah, just to clear that up, the first Volkswagen Beetle was designed by Ferdinand Porsche. So
the people's car.
Yes, Volkswagen, exactly that.
Into the pits comes Brian Strobbeck, our leader. We'll wait and see if there is a planned driver change. Is it compulsory in this series to have a second driver, or can you do it solo?
Can do it solo. I remember having this conversation before, actually.
Isn't there a penalty for that or something, or
maybe?
Can't remember what because Travis Davis drove a whole race on his own, didn't he? And Kevin Ford was out when he was away or injured or ill. So there was I'm sure Travis Davis drove a whole race, but I'm sure there was a reason. I'm sure there was a rule as to why he why he couldn't do that. I can't remember.
Looking on the timing clock, we're looking at anything under 1 minute 12 to stay safe. I think for Brian here, but anything much over that, and it's going to be close. Stationary, we're looking at 50 seconds, so he's over that. But he is away. Out.
You wait, yeah, he is.
Oh, it's close. Extremely close.
Short pit exit here.
Oh, Dam's
off. He's in the cone. The cone goes absolutely flying. Absolutely mullered it. He's going to be in the rhythm, is Mike Dam, though, Adam, and Strobbeck isn't necessarily, because he's had that little break in the pits.
Dam's got the slightly fresher rubber, hasn't he, at this stage? Because Strobbeck's got to get it up to temperature, so this right-hander at the end of the back straight might be Dam's golden opportunity.
Yeah, Strobbeck's got the better rubber. Dam's got the rubber that's more suited for this moment, and it's through, yes. And Brian Strobbeck, feel like he probably will be able to fight back soon, but Mike Dam, that's an important one. Making that early stop work, Alex, that is what we needed to do, was try and get track position, as that's important in Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, I don't think he envisioned having to still sort of do the overtake and it be this close. He wanted a little bit of a breather, but now he can try and make the traffic work for him, because actually Dan's been very unlucky with the traffic, and he's been losing 2 or 3 seconds here and there, and instantly can find himself with a bit of a buffer as Brian's going to have to wait through this final complex. Look at that, boom. Time difference lost there.
Bit of a trivia question for you. I don't know if any of you know. It's going back to as there are VW Beetles in the race. We are watching one right now. essentially. The VW Beetle wasn't called the Beetle in France. Do we know what it was called?
Is it a similar insect?
It is an insect. Do either of you actually know the answer to that?
I don't know the answer.
No, I'll be throwing wild guesses.
It was called the coccinelle, which is the French for ladybug. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There's a ladybird, basically, in France. And
Yeah, there's an
interestingly,
American.
And I wonder if that's where the Herbie thing comes from.
yeah,
Herbie then, because what was that? What was that nickname?
Lovebug, wasn't it?
Lovebug, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because oh well, there we go. And he went to Monte Carlo, didn't he? So pretty much in France. I was going to say something about that. Oh yeah, because all right, let's just do a slight history lesson. Apparently, it was originally designed because of all of course, the autobahns that were built
By
post-war.
Yeah.
It was designed to do around 100 kilometers an hour because that was the speed limit roughly, or that was what people wanted to do on the autobahn. But as the autobahn speeds increased and then completely disappeared, they added more power to the Beetle, so pretty much everybody could still drive at a slightly faster speed because that was one of the only sort of popular cars that was actually available at the time, which is really interesting.
the idea was formulated by Adolf Hitler.
For
For the Beetle.
For the Beetle, yeah, it was, yeah. So, because he used to drive around in a convertible one, which is why I'm a little bit dubious as to why they still sell a convertible Beetle. But that's another story for another time, I guess. But yeah, it was his idea, and it was a very good idea.
Before you be hearing that on a Ricmotech.
No,
there you go.
World Challenge.
Hey, it's relevant. I think it's relevant. We have, like I say, we got the 911 in the race.
Yeah.
Which, you look at it, you look at the Beetle, and you sort of go, well, yeah, I can see where that's come from. Mike Dam is giving it everything, by the way, out there.
Really is.
Like, I don't think Alex is. I've seen a corner in the last 2 or 3 laps where he hasn't been on the grass at some point.
Trying to get away, isn't he? Trying to build up a bit of a buffer, but
Got older
it's not
tyres.
happened. Brian all of a sudden just stepped on it. Really,
he's not got the tyres though, mate. That's the thing.
How many laps is Dam into this stint now? He pitted.
Well, it's 4 extra laps, isn't it? That's what
Yeah.
he's done. So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, you will have noticed they've just now gone back to first and second because David Haynes has come into the pits. We've also got the top 2 in the Mustangs into the pits, Steve Brown and Leon Wright, both in together. So this is going to be interesting. Are we going to see any driver changes between the 2 of them? And who's going to be taking the tyres, the most tyres, as they hit the pit boxes now?
Well, this is going to be great. Let's see. Race in the pit lane. Enjoy that.
Left
Brown
sides at least for both. Sorry, right sides. Left side, yeah, left sides as well.
Brown a couple of seconds quicker. Just a couple of seconds ahead with the tyres. Now
with
the fuel.
Which is
What
why it's sometimes
And
easy
away.
to take 4 and away.
There goes Steve Brown.
Brown was actually a second quicker in the pits.
Might make all the difference, That's probably just a bit more commitment on the entry. Because Brown, I feel like Wright is quicker, but Brown is maximising his ability more in this race as in what he can actually... I mean, he's on the edge, isn't he? We saw when he was lapping the traffic. He's maximising as much time as he can out there.
Tyler Schiffler is also... He's now in the Meh Motorsports car. I noticed that. He's also taken the time out to pit. Have we got any other ones? Alex Coffard has also been in his Mustang as well. So
Tell you what, Mike Dam's going to fall foul of the equivalent of the groundsman of this circuit. The grass is getting absolutely kicked up everywhere.
it's almost the equivalent of when you do a knee slide on a on a football field, I guess.
Or
The
not
crowds are raging.
replacing your divots on the golf course.
Ah,
I know what that's about. Look at him, he's sideways, everything. He's really got that car balanced right on the nose, Alex, because the rear is just... The rear looks very, very lively, unusual for...
And they need to do that because the car is very understeery on the brakes, so I'm not surprised actually.
It's a bit unusual for iRacing to see a driver that looks like he's really set the car up to slide around and not really that bothered about it.
That Catilla is in, or should I say he's getting into the car. Same with Frank Alessi. Alessi getting in for the second stint in the Booligan racing car.
Catilla's been in the car all the way through, I believe.
I think it's just Alessi that's getting in the car.
Do what he does.
Catilla.
Frank Alessi.
Well done, Mr. Strodbeck. Into the back straight, now coming up to the top of the hill. This is where we saw a rejoin of epic proportions in the BSR Rallycross Championship last year. Not a rejoin, it was a retaliation, wasn't it? More like...
Oh dear, we had all sorts, didn't we, in that championship? To be fair, that was a good series. I enjoyed that one.
Had some great potential, didn't it, actually?
I think it was good.
I think if we'd have had the Subaru in it as well.
I know. Don't get me started on BSR Porsche, though. We'll be here all night.
Yeah.
Six races in one evening.
Tell you what, Alex, for a little bit more money, I'll just have a look. You could have an A7. Don't know how big the boot is on that, though, but it looks nice.
Yeah.
Might not be as fast, though, actually.
To be fair, that's what I want. Something with, you want
to
something
go for
that's quick. Yeah. So.
Midlife crisis coming on, eh?
Well, I want to try and get it in before my midlife crisis, so I can't say, well, I had it when I was young and fun,
Look at Dam. Look at the state of Mike Dam there coming out of the hairpin. Dear me. No, I tell you what though, it's nice. It's good. I like the idea. I'm a big Audi fan, so.
Don't worry. When I'm 50, I'll have my Porsche Boxster convertible. There you go. That's proper midlife crisis car. That is.
What about Jack?
You're gonna take up hairdressing anytime soon. Having said that, I have nothing against hairdressers. And if you are watching, if my barber is watching, I am coming to get my hair cut tomorrow. So just ignore what I just said.
Well, hey,
Porsche Boxster. You see, it's a nice car, but I don't know. Yeah, the old Cayman's nice. Give me a Cayman.
Yeah.
But I think knowing you though, I think you get an R8 before you get any of these. You get any of those ones,
Yeah, afraid to say, the Audis have got me. And when I was at the garage, it was a gorgeous convertible R8 in orange. Oh,
orange.
It was so nice.
Was it like McLaren orange?
Bit darker actually, but yeah, it was sort of like a very red orange kind of thing. Yeah.
So for the small sum of £121,000, can have that.
No, I need to get some more business in there. A few more broadcasts.
We need to do some more commentaries. Come on, boys. I have to say though,
I'll just be there in time for retirement.
The thing I love about the R8 though, I know I keep going on about it, but is the fact that it's got a V10 engine in this day and age.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with the RS3. It's 5-cylinder, so it sounds like an absolute beast. You see, it's like half a block.
It's half a V10.
They literally cut it in half. Yeah, so it still sounds absolutely.
The whole
like
Bedford shit.
It's like Willy Wonka's V10 engine, isn't it? Yeah. We're still seeing some fastest sectors going in, actually. Nathan Thomas just set his fastest sector 4.
In fact, the whole...
Jim List set his fastest sector 1, as is Christian Ost.
Yeah, a lot of green time showing up on the...
Leon Wright just set his fastest lap of the race in pursuit, still, Steve Brown.
As Chris Torman is coming to the pits in the BT Racing Mustang, and there is only half a second between our two leaders. There they are.
I dare say there's a lot of cars out there on fresh rubber, but a lighter fuel load than what they started with. So keep banging in these quicker times. And Adam, would you mind just taking over again, just for a little second? We're gonna have a little coffee break, I believe.
Okay.
I will turn the favour.
Oh, I think a coffee break for me would end up in me falling asleep.
Yeah. Or the coffee would end up all over you, or something would happen.
I don't drink hot drinks. That is
Oh, there you go.
an Adam Bath little bit of insight into me.
You know what? I don't either, really.
You may have to switch back to commentator and then back to broadcaster. Sorry, because I'm still in the room.
All right. There we go.
Very much, yeah. So I'll be back.
I'll be back in a jiffy. Yes.
I'll be back in a jiffy. That's not my mother. So.
Mrs. Bouvier. No, but I mean, no. I was going to say I don't drink hot drinks either. It's weird. It's I'll have hot chocolate every now and again. But yeah, that's it. Really, I'm afraid. Don't like tea. Coffee's okay, but
Hot chocolate?
Yeah, that's what I say. I'll drink hot chocolate every now and again. But coffee once in a blue moon. Tea, I just don't do it.
I don't think any of the people at Man United are listening, but if it does mean that my lunch break is extended, then I will make a stop off at the coffee machine to get hot chocolate.
You heard it first. You heard it here first, Jose Mourinho.
Oh well, he's in a foul mood anyway, isn't he?
No,
Sorry,
he is. No, he is. I mean, but yeah, jeez. He's in about as foul mood as the groundsman of this track will be with Mike Dam at the end of this one. But yeah, you're right. I do apologise to everybody who's watching. We're digressing all over the place, but we have to try and with the middle of the race is always difficult.
Hey, we're doing well. There's
some
an
good
hour
battles.
to go.
I will say there are some good battles going on the circuit.
Like this.
Yes.
We're riding on
board.
board.
Do that now, by the way. Actually, just go like, what do you mean this one? Yes.
Here it is.
Yeah, Mike Dam, you can look how edgy that car is. I mean, Jeremy Clarkson always says that a 911 wants to kill you, and I mean that one looks like it. It wants to do away with Mike Dam. Yeah, that's a great camera angle.
I think what else have we got at our disposal here in terms of cameras? We've got one on the right front. That's one from the back, and we've got one positioned on the rear spoiler here. Is Godbeck hunts every apex and every nook and cranny of this Mid-Ohio circuit to try and regain the lead. Look at Dam. That's sideways almost going through.
Oh, I can't look at him because I'm looking at the rear quarter panel of this Porsche.
Just about to see the orange and black Cryptogy orange Porsche 911 doing its thing around here as we go back onto the front straight again to complete lap 51. Haven't checked in the Mazda MX-5s in a while.
Heck. Well, because I say it's a little bit nothing to see here. There is actually, because there's now a battle for second. Kind of been going on for a while. Eric Violet and Brandon Whitworth. That's funny actually. There's a few cars not showing up on the on my timing tower. Not getting Jim List, Michael Key on there at all.
Might be because it switched over to me. I'm not too sure because didn't Alex have to fill in a few of the
Oh yeah. That actually makes sense. So it's Dam, Strodbeck, Haynes, Ruddock, Croft, Brown, Shiflett, Thomas, Coffard, Katila, Torman, Rathje, Violet, Whitworth, List, Key, Ford, and Ost is actually out of the race. So yeah, he had got back on the track and he was doing okay, but yeah, he's now actually out. Looks like Brandon Whitworth's colour scheme looks very nice. It's just a plain black and white, but it looks like the old the rockets space shuttle, like the Apollo rockets. Of course, it's nearly 50 years since they sent a man on the moon.
1969.
Next year, yeah.
Oh my word.
Oh, hey! Oh, he has all 3 classes in one, and there's the battle for the lead. Going into the first corner. Mike Dam once more. Annoying the ground staff. Could be a move then for Strodbeck.
The keyhole.
He's going up the inside. He locks up a bit, but yeah, he's made that stick easily. If anything, it was a bit too easy from Mike Dam. He let that one happen a bit, quite easily, really. Adam.
He can get him back. I think he's going to have to pounce back straight away, Mike Dam, if he wants to try and get back ahead of Strodbeck. Strodbeck's going to cover the inside line going into the roller coaster section. Might try and set him up through here, though.
Of older tyres, Mike Dam, but yeah, you would feel that he probably should try to stay in front, but yeah.
Oh, I can hear the tyres breaking away from him over the top of the hill. They're coming up on a Mustang now. This could get pretty interesting.
Maybe so.
By the way,
I am back as well. What battle to come back to?
Yeah, cracking battle there.
One thing we did notice, Alex, while you're away, is that we've only got 16 runners. Is this because I haven't got some of the new drivers filled in on my sheet?
You haven't, but I have.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I will relinquish control back to you. There you go.
Thank you very much. And yeah, just to confirm, actually, I'll put everyone on. We should have all 20 there.
There you go.
You seen that as well on the
Timing tower, yeah.
Timing tower,
back to
yeah.
20 cars again.
Excellent.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah, there was a bunch of drivers going there at the start of the race and give them put the right classes in and stuff like that. Those are little things that I've grown accustomed to doing. Little quirks of the overlay that you have to work out.
I suppose that's what happens when we develop our own software, isn't it? Well,
yeah, exactly.
It's little things, isn't it? But it's good things.
Have a look at this battle further back. Actually, sorry to throw away from the overall, but the old MX-5s need some love too, and pretty close for second right now.
Yeah, we were having a look at this as well earlier, but now it's developed into a free car scrap. Jim List has been off the track recently.
Yeah, we did actually see this battle a couple of minutes ago, but now we've got a bit more. Now it's a bit more interesting. Let's face it.
I'm guessing I put a bit of pressure on Jim, have I? And has made a couple of mistakes, and he's gone from second all the way down to fourth.
I think you probably have. Yeah.
Did Mike Dam just briefly take the lead? It does say on the event list that he had passed Brian Strodbeck, and now Strodbeck's back in the lead again. So I think something might have just.
No, I think.
Briefly,
I think
or was that
was just you. It might be just your thing as it switched over.
Right.
'Cause mine didn't do it.
Kevin Ford into the pits. Might be about to hand the reins over to Travis Davis now that we are past the halfway point. In fact, we've got less than an hour to go now. Here comes Jim List past Brandon Whitworth into the keyhole. There he goes. List into third
nice
position.
work there. He didn't waste a lot of time there, did he?
No, he didn't. Oh, Gary Croft crashed apparently. Says on my thing anyway.
That's not actually the easiest sentence to say either. That I must have.
Croft crashed. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't roll off the tongue very much.
But Jim List in the Friday night's racing car. Hoping that there ain't no party like a Monday night here at the Ricmotech World Challenge.
And that's it.
Kevin Ford stayed in the cast, by the way, so
The Monday night delight that is the Ricmotech World Challenge. Been a good race this so far. I was saying that, Alex, when you were away. It's not that it's not a good race. It definitely is a good race. We're seeing a lot of battles, but sometimes a bit tough to tough for us to stay with it as much as we can.
Yeah, I just think Mid-Ohio battles, the races here at Mid-Ohio are always a little bit like this anyway. That's just the nature of them, I think. So
they're always close.
Yeah, they are always close, and because it is difficult to overtake, sometimes you kind of expect it to be close and not a lot change. So
is Liz going to go for it?
Nice one to see a move
Alex,
and on the braking. Good.
Inside into the keyhole. Has he gone through at the keyhole? I think he has. Is he clear? Not quite, but he might be by the time he gets down to the bottom of the hill. We'll see.
List on the left. Violet on the right.
Oh, List aggressively cuts across. Back onto the racing line. You are technically allowed to do that, as that's only one move, Alex. He started off on the right-hand side of the straight, so I guess that's just one move to come across, isn't it?
Yeah, no problems there whatsoever.
Well, some people might have a cry about that, but it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'll definitely be one of those. I hate it when people move in the brake. So.
Oh, you shouldn't do it, but no, you shouldn't really do it, but he was clear, just...
I've had a good old whinge in the World Championship, that's for sure. When people have done it on me.
His finger hovering over the penalty button. If there'd have been some contact there. Right, that's you done. Drive through.
On this Verstappen larky, get out.
He weren't too happy on Sunday.
Something's going to happen there, you know, like... I think it's becoming, unfortunately, it's becoming a bit of a trend in world racing. Is that sort of moving twice? I'm just going to say it, bollocks on the straight, and somebody's going to end up, you know, like easily. When the Spa stuff with Verstappen and Raikkonen a couple of years ago, Kimi could have ended up in the trees if he hadn't have reacted as quickly as he did.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It would have been an almighty one that he would have had. You know, and you can't. And Verstappen shrugs it off
smoke.
as if.
Sorry, Karen.
Where?
I thought I saw it in the background of when Mike Dan was going through the right-hander, but I think it might have just been a lock-up.
The problem is that we see it in some of the leagues that we cover as well. But someone like Verstappen, he'll just shrug it off and go, "Oh well, I'm not going to change the way I drive." It's like, no, because being funny, but that sort of late moving nonsense is going to get somebody seriously injured. It's, in sim racing, it's bad enough when you just annoy a bunch of people, but you don't actually hurt anybody. But yeah, to me,
fortunately, it'll take a
young
big
drivers
accident.
Feel like they,
yeah, it'll take a big accident for it to get changed. So it's coming.
Well, for people to enforce it properly, and unfortunately, that is the case. By the way, Alex, did you see that gigantic one at the 24 Hours of Spa?
Oh wow!
Oh, I did, and so lucky, and so grateful actually that the
everybody was okay.
The marshals, you know, didn't get there, so the Armco doing its job there.
Oh, right, is in.
There were a few people injured, but no, you know, everyone survived, which is the point, and that's what we want.
There was an even
I've never
bigger
seen
one
anyone go off there though, ever.
Oh, on the entrance into Curve Paul Fret.
Yeah, I've never seen someone go off on the inside.
Not Curve Paul Fret. Yeah, Vanya Chicane.
Jennifer McDonald gets into the Team Street Survival car.
Yeah, taken over from Leon Wright. There was an absolutely huge crash in the actual 24 Hours of Spa. Was
that not the 24 hours that happened?
That was one of the that was the Super Trofeo race.
Oh, really?
The one in the actual 24 Hours of Spa was it happened about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was still up, and here I am moaning that they didn't show any pictures of it, and it looked pretty horrific, to be fair, from the pictures that some of the fans had put up on social media. But fortunately, everyone was okay.
So where was that
literally,
then? Which part of the course was that?
Razion.
Oh, was it the one? Was it Mercedes? Was it?
It was where the car was literally cut in half. Like, see if I can find some pictures. But
oh, I saw there was one last year that was like that, though, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was one in 2017 that was like that, where the car like pretty much went in two pieces. Yeah, I remember it was shocking. The driver was absolutely fine as well. That massive one last year.
Yeah.
Remember that? Jeez. Falling. But yeah, I just having a look, see if I could find it. I've seen it. There was a crash at the end of the. Looks like it was the end of Kemmel.
Here is
a
a
Mercedes
picture.
that went into the wall. Yeah, we can't see this on the stream, but. Oi. Well, there's not a lot left of that, is there? Jeez. Everybody all right in that one, was it?
Yeah, there was a worry at the time that
I bet
that something had gone down, because there was a ton of ambulances that were getting sent up there. But
as well, they never have proper cameras there because they just can't see anything. It's the circuit's not fully lit, so
yeah.
They're not going to put. It's like at Le Mans, isn't it, when they change to the security cameras or whatever for the night. But yeah, it's always the 24 hours of Spa. There's always some massive crashes there, and I don't really know why it is so much more there than other places.
Same when it's the same when WEC goes there as well. You know, you're guaranteed at least one huge
guaranteed a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you saw the one that somebody flipped over, didn't they, this year?
Yeah,
in Eau Rouge?
Took off. Yeah, they took off.
I mean, that's just mental. We thought that things like that wouldn't happen anymore. I mean, me and Alex are old enough to remember properly when the Mercedes did it at Le Mans. Flipped over and ended up in the trees. It was on all the news bulletins, wasn't it? It was absolutely everywhere. And we didn't think that would happen again. Mike Dam's in the pits. His second stop.
Oh, quick question, guys. Obviously, McDonald should over from Leon Wright, but I'm seeing Leon back in the cars.
Oh yeah, that seems right. Did Jennifer McDonald?
If I click on you, can you check in the sim that it's?
Her name did flash up on the.
Yeah, her name came up.
But then I think Leon got back in the car before the pit stop must have finished. Then.
Oh, so maybe she was supposed to be taking over the reins, and then.
Or better off
something happened, or maybe they just decided that maybe Leon Wright was happy in the car. Alex, maybe it could have been that, and maybe he just wanted to do another stint, or I don't know. But that would be nearly the whole race, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then maybe Jenna just did the final stint. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Who knows? But the final stint won't be very long. That's the thing. I wonder, there's no rule about. By the way, there's no rule actually about driver time share, so to speak, in these cars. So, because it won't matter so much if Jennifer McDonald doesn't take the wheel. But yeah, it's just a bit surprising that happened. Maybe it was just a glitch or something. I'm not sure.
Waiting Brian Strudbeck and David Haynes to come in and make their second visits to the pits. Same as well for our top two in the Mustang category of Steve Brown and Nathan Thomas. Alex Cofford also yet to come in there. In terms of the Mazdas, we are still waiting on the second round of pit stops to get underway in that category as well, and it's Tom Rathje that leads the way there after taking over from Travis Schwenke, and he is flying at the moment. 22-second lead over Jim List in second, with Eric Violet in third and Brandon Whitworth in fourth. Michael Key a lap down on Tom Rathje, so I don't think there's any chance really of him getting back up there as we approach the final 3/4 of an hour. Here's a good battle. Brandon Whitworth versus
It's still
Eric Foy.
going on. It's still going on. Feels like these two are just going to fight the whole race.
What
This
we will
looks like
do,
a good run though. They're going to be side by side now, Alex, going over the start-finish line.
Yeah, a little slip up, open the door possibly for Whitworth, but couldn't quite get it done.
Backed out, it looked like. Not more fuel saving, is it? I hope not.
Well, while they're still sort of together, there's one thing that we haven't done yet that we need to do, and that's go and say hello to our sponsors at Ricmotech.
Into the final 43 minutes of the Ricmotech World Challenge here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Adam Buff, Alex Simpson, Andrew Woodhouse with you for the closing stages, and still for many another pit stop to serve as we look at Brian Strodbeck in the leading Porsche, trying to negotiate his way past our leading Mustang of Steve Brown here as they come across the line. There's the timing line there, and that's lap 67 about to begin. In fact, it's lap 66 getting started by Brian Strodbeck, and Matt Steve Brown. A sign of how quick the Porsches are today. Alex is a good 7 laps behind. He's on his 58th lap, while Brian Strodbeck's on his 66th.
Yeah, crazy actually. The Mustang drivers are used to being the fastest out there, and yeah, totally different ball game today. Completely been outclassed as we would expect, to be fair.
It's almost comparing the GTEs with the LMP1s. There almost is that
really
much of a difference.
But it's been a good race in the Mustangs actually. We have got a bit of separation now, but for the first sort of, I don't know, 50 minutes of this race, it was all quite close really, and had some pit stops. Maybe we'll see that come together towards the final stint. I'm not sure. We are expecting one more stop, of course, for everyone, so that's going to happen soon. We've got a few that have opted to take the second stop. Mike Down we saw jump in just before we had the advert break. Yeah, he's now trying to get the jump, and lap times were looking good, but Brian just putting an absolute bang in 123.38 to. Dam needs a little bit of help with some traffic now.
Of course, Dan will be back in action with many of the other people in the series next week when the Ricmotech Sports Car Series heads to its penultimate race meeting of the season at the Glen. And then, of course, the traditional final race meeting of the season at Road Atlanta as Mike Dam goes past one of the Mustangs.
I
And,
can't quite believe we're at that stage of the season already.
I know.
Where'd it go?
I was just looking at the schedule thinking we were probably at the midway point, but yeah, that's coming to an end again. And Aero Nom literally has been he's literally won everything since he came back to the series at round 3. Went to New Hampshire, won that, won at Bathurst, won at Indy Road, won at Road America, won at Brands, won at Mid-Ohio, where we are today, won at Phillip Island, and won at Mosport last week. Amazingly, even though he missed the first 2 race meetings of the season, his calculations stipulate that he could still win this title as we look at the battle for 6th place in the Ford Mustang category between three drivers here: Matt Catila, Coffard and Alessi. And Alessi is currently, as things stand, the lowest placed Mustang in the class, as Oster's been into the pits numerous times and is out of the race. So the loser of this battle is going to be picking up the Wooden Spoon Award in the Mustang class as we go back towards Kevin Ford, who is either going to hand over the reins to Travis Davis very late on, or is planning to do the rest of the race by himself.
Yeah, I did just want to bring it to Kevin because obviously he's now got to a position where he's basically almost on the same lap as the MX-5, so he's finally going to start moving up the order. But
You're right,
it's
yeah.
going to be a tall order for him to get sort of to 6th place overall. You know, I think he will do that, but it's not going to be easy for him, I tell you.
Well, he's already got past Michael Key, but he was already a lap behind the Mazdas anyway. He's got a further 1 minute 18 seconds to close to get to the next car. I think something's just kicked off in that Mustang battle, by the way, Alex, as Brian Strodbeck's coming, because Alex Coffard is now at the rear of that, and Alessi is now at the very front of that battle. So I wonder what happened between those guys, because it was the other way around. But I think this replay might be ahead. I can't hard to tell. But yeah, that has really strung out now. It was really close a lap ago.
Yeah, just seeing if exactly what happened. Failing that, I'll go and take a look at the overtake instead.
Oh.
There you go. That's what it was. Look. So.
Oh.
Thank you very much, he says, and picks up both places. Just got together really through the kink. Yeah. Just a tiny little touch, hardly anything.
Right then. Is there any chance of Mike Dam emerging from this pit stop ahead of Brian Strodbeck as we look at the replay again?
Obviously we just need to do it because obviously
we're the stewards, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
a better angle than that, I think.
Have a look then. .37 slides in front of him.
Yeah, and actually, I think was it that's with them as well. So it was Coffard, wasn't it? I think Coffard just sits there and waits. So I think it's I do like that rule that if you wait for the other bike to get back in front, then no further action needs to be required. So kind of self-served that one already. So we'll leave that with it.
Well then, Mike Dam is about a third of a straight away from Brian Strodbeck after those pit stops have taken place. Strodbeck, unfortunately for us, but fortunately for him, has got a nice 6-second advantage now.
4.7 seconds stationary against 15.4, so quite considerable difference there. So
2 tyres maybe?
yeah, possibly. We'll see if this can come back to down. We won't really know until probably another lap or so. Let's have a look at what they're doing sector time wise. Well, I have to say, sector times there's nothing between them, so not looking any different out there.
He's back.
Sorry about that. I needed just a tiny bit of a break, just to stand up, walk around, wake up a little bit. Enjoy the last half an hour of the race.
Yeah, while you're away, Andrew, obviously Brian jumped back into the pits as well and has come out with a 6-second lead. So the gap at the front of the Porsches is quite substantial now. So,
but again, he had better tyres, didn't he, for some of it, and he would have been on less fuel with still relatively decent tyres. So yeah, it's, you know, I'm not surprised he's pulled out a slightly bigger lead at this point. Any other close battles on the circuit? Well, Kevin Ford has finally made his way up the leaderboard.
Yeah. We were just saying he's finally got an overtake done. However, unfortunately, the next car ahead in terms of position is still a good minute or so ahead. So
no, only 27 seconds. Travis Franke is 27 seconds ahead. 26.
So indeed he is. As that's because I don't know what I was reading. I must have added a few extra digits to that, but I'm sure that Brandon Whitworth was a lap behind them. But yeah, Travis Franke,
challenge for the next half an hour for Kevin Ford, then 35 minutes, is he's got to make up just under 3 laps on Steve Brown in order to actually take some take some pride in finishing in the
that was exactly what I said about 5 minutes ago. Yeah, exactly. And I think he'll want to do that. That's going to be like the personal goal, isn't it? You know.
Well, he's got to have something to race for, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, after 72 laps,
not bothered then in the end.
Yeah, it really looks like it. After 72 laps, there is a 7-lap difference between the Mustangs and the Porsches. So, taking him that long, I wonder how long it could take Kevin Ford to close up 2 laps.
It's going to be close, isn't it? He was 8 laps, plus another 2 laps actually to the leaders during this race. But I'm not surprised because he's, you know, car is knackered. Let's face it. Down to 15 seconds for Franke. Huh? They're both in the pits together.
Franke back in the car.
Jim List should, in theory, come out quite a way in front here. Yeah, and indeed he does. Kevin Ford goes through, incidentally. But Jim List out in a comfortable 2nd place in the class. You know what? There's not as many, Alex, not as many driver changes as I'd anticipated actually tonight.
No, I thought there was going to be more, I have to say. I really did.
Them. Just Lacey, Rathje was in the car for a while, but Franke's back in it now. Jim List back in the car. Still in the car, sorry, instead of Bobby Charles.
Yeah, List has remained in the car. Franke has got back in for the final half an hour push to the finish.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens and whether that becomes a good battle at the end. Frank Alesi and Matthew Catila actually only 1/3 of a second apart at the moment on the circuit. Looks like Catila's got the bit between his teeth, Alex.
Trying to find him on my timing screen. There he is.
Yeah,
Here it is.
Catila
Very close
was.
one.
Oh, these two were the ones that crashed earlier, which we had to review. But the VAR, the video.
Sorry, it's Catila and Coffard, isn't it? I'm not even reading the right bit of the flaming timing screen. Sorry.
But yeah, the video Alex referee. I don't know what you want to call it.
He VAR'd it. Yep.
We've deemed it as a racing incident, so no penalty dished out between these two. But
There you go. Was it clear and obvious though? That's the question.
There you go. Was it denying a goal scoring
opportunity? Was it the last man? Well, in the case of Coffard, he actually is the last man in the class at the moment. Oh dear. I say he's the last man though, right? He's still, after an hour and 44, what's that? He's still on the lead lap of his class, Alex. So after an hour and 44, he might be last, Alex Coffard, but he's not actually that far behind, really.
No, I tell you, the Mustangs have been
5 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, the Mustangs have been. Let me put the gap on, and then we can see. There you go, 1:09. So Mustangs have been really close tonight. You know, definitely the best sort of battling group out there.
Yeah, certainly. Coffard made a little bit of a mess of Thunder Valley that time. Oh, sorry, it's not Thunder Valley. It's that port shortening camera angle again. Now we're going through Thunder Valley. But yeah, like 1 minute and 9 seconds after that long of a race, we've done 75 laps. So that's still just about a second a lap. And he's last in the category. So, I mean, that shows how evenly matched everybody is, Adam. It's pretty good.
He is, so we haven't seen too many gains in terms of lap times recently. We have seen some personal bests get clocked on. Tyler Shiflett did a 35.2 on that last lap, along with Alessi, who did a 35.0, and they're coming up on Alessi again here as they go through the keyhole hairpin.
Kevin Ford
Racing 69.
Kevin Ford has gone through on the MX-5s.
Yeah. So that's a 14.
So he's got 2 minutes to make up in half an hour. I think he'll do it. Whether he'll get them all or not, I don't know though, because like I said, it's about 3 minutes and 20 seconds to the leading car, and this is a very, very close battle now. Frank Alesi, Matt Catila, Alex Coffard fighting over the last place, like I say. But well, they're not fighting over last. They don't want to be last, Alex. They're fighting over third from last, but you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that crest that we were talking about. So deadly. Remember when we did the IndyCars round here, how deadly that was?
Oh, God, back in the day. The old
you had to
car,
short
you know?
shift or just get out of it completely to survive. Like that one at Belle Isle, isn't it? When the safety car crashed into the wall. It's a very similar sort of corner, really.
Yeah,
similar sort of crest.
I remember in my days of the V8 supercars as well. I think a lot of short shifting had to be taking place there.
Oh yeah, I mean that car is. It's been very difficult to race those sometimes on the. Oh! Dear me, that was squeaky bum time for Catila. Oh, and there goes Coffard. Offard.
But it recovered pretty quickly, but...
Shame for him though, losing second after second. He's lost 10 seconds there.
Yeah, there's not enough time left, I'm afraid.
I mean, you never know, he might be able to get back to that, because I mean, they are having a bit of a scrap out there.
And Catila's got past Alessi while we were looking at that as well, so Catila now up into 6th place.
Well, we didn't see that overtake then. So, but we might be able to get that on the screen. Here it is.
There you go, we see the spin. But while that carries on, here comes the blue and yellow. I'll say Leeds United away kit from a few seasons ago on the inside.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, a nice easy one down the back straight there. In what is the DRS zone in the single seaters.
Well, is this a World Championship Grand Prix Series venue?
Well, I think it has been in the past, hasn't it?
I think it has been in the past, not since I've
when you
been
were
in the
it,
series. No, I certainly did like the Class A.
Definitely an IndyCar series
qualifiers. You know, when you had to do the Class A's to get your pro license.
Grand Prix series regular races, basically.
That's the one and only time I've sort of done it in the F1 car. So,
but I think it's just customary that iRacing gives every single track on their service a DRS zone. So, yeah. Are we still on replay, Alex, or are we back to live?
Oh, apologies, still on replay. There you go.
What is the gap looking like then? Mike Dam was quicker by 8 tenths of a second on Brian Strudbeck on that last lap. Gap down to 6 seconds.
We're expecting another stop by David Haynes, aren't we?
Yeah.
At some point. But yeah, I mean, when that's going to be, who knows? Car looks pretty light out there, though, Alex. It looks like the body language of it, like it's getting a bit pointy. So I wonder if he's going to be in this lap. Nope.
No.
He'll be close, though. I think it won't be long. Driven well, David Haynes. Really has.
Oh, all of a sudden, has Mike Dam had a spin? Actually, no. Ignore me. I was looking at the wrong column. Still 6 seconds between Strudbeck and Dam.
By the way, David Haynes has done every single one of the 79 laps completed so far. Sterling effort. Australia as well. What time will it be there?
2 in the afternoon, potentially.
Yeah, something like that. 1, 2 o'clock. The nice middle of the day action for David Haynes. Makes a change for the Aussies, doesn't it?
Cool winter's day in Australia.
Yeah.
Basically, a hot summer's day here, probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure where David Haynes is from, but in terms of Melbourne, Australia, it's only 14 degrees today. So, yeah, it's and a bit of rain. Like a British, it's funny how Australians always say that we've got terrible weather, but their winters are just as bad as ours. They're just not quite as cold.
What about if you're in?
Oh heck!
I'm forgetting the name of the territories now.
Northern Territory? No.
What it's called?
There's South Australia. There's Victoria. There's
NT,
Queens.
Northern Territory.
Northern Territory. That's it.
That's like
Western
the wilderness,
Australia.
isn't it? Yeah.
What's the other one? There's one more.
Queensland.
Hang on, Victoria, Queensland,
New South Wales.
New South Wales. That's it.
That's where your Bathursts and your Sydneys are. And, yeah.
Western Australia, and the other one that we mentioned, Northern Territory. That's right.
Yeah, where you have Darwin.
Northern Territory is where basically it's just a barren landscape, isn't it? Really,
it is. We want to get
most of it.
we want to break down out there.
Well, I'm going to find out. I don't see any cities in the Northern Territory.
Aside from Darwin.
Darwin, population 110,000. And it's literally Alice Springs, 25,000. And then after that, there's a place called Catherine with a population of 6,000. And that's it. And the Northern Territory is massive.
There's rocks out there, isn't it?
Yeah. Northern Territory is Jesus.
A few United Kingdoms, I'm guessing.
1.35 million square kilometres. And its population is 246,000. Dear me. But I can understand, because it is really not a place that you want to... you want to live in, really. Oh, crash for Chris Torment. And that's torn it for Torment. Dear me.
Yeah, probably. It's
Might
probably a
need
bit
Thor's
cool,
hammer to mend that, Alex.
Yeah, I think so.
probably a bit cooler in the Darwin in the UK than in not too far away from there, actually.
Where's that? Where's that then?
It's in Lancashire, but it's spelt with an E rather than with an I.
Derwin.
Darwin,
Darwen. Oh, right.
near Blackburn.
Oh, it's near Blackburn. Oh, right. I used to live in Preston. I didn't actually know about that place, Darwin. Proof that all the names of, Australia and America are just probably nicked from places in Britain anyway.
There was an amazing tweet which was just made up solely of emojis of countries that the UK has invaded.
Oh dear, that'll be all of them then, nearly. We've been invaded a lot of times ourselves. As well, to boot.
Damn is closing the gap. Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is in the. He was just for a brief moment in the same camera shot. It's now down to 4.4 seconds. There he is.
Yeah, I mean,
there it is.
20 minutes. It's possible. But that graph there, Alex, it looks like potentially traffic or mistakes more than actually dam closing in, because it looked like the gap was remaining fairly steady a little bit.
I would agree. Yeah, just how the traffic's falling. I think Mike might catch the traffic at the worst possible time here, and he's probably going to lose a second or two. I don't know. Might be okay.
We'll see though. See what he can do.
This
the most amazing thing is that he hasn't crashed, to be honest, so far. The way his car's been
drifting around all night.
Dancing around, but I like the idea of it going through there. Taking that much curve. Speaking of which, there goes,
that's our leader.
It's Schwenke.
That's Schwenke, yeah.
Travis, what's going on?
Well, you know what the funny thing is that we didn't know which car that was because we've not seen it.
Yeah, it's been out front so much, hasn't he?
Since the beginning of the race.
He's got that 15-second gap has now been reduced to 8 seconds. 7 seconds, yeah. Jim List, a little bit of hope here.
Yeah.
Approaching the final quarter of an hour then. In terms of cars that haven't come into the pits for a second time, David Haynes still is at it. He's still yet to come into the pits for his second visit to the pits. Nathan Thomas, in fact, our two leaders in the Mustangs are both yet to come in. That being Steve Brown and Nathan Thomas. Frank Alessi also yet to come in for a second visit to the pits.
When you mentioned Ayers Rock, incidentally, 348 metres high.
And to put that into context,
that's about as high as the Shard, I think, in London. It might be even higher than that.
A huge, massive red rock face.
Massive.
Been to Australia, Alex?
I haven't. No, I've got family there, so I have got an open invite if I want to, but no, I've never been.
Road trip. No. Another road trip. That wouldn't be a road trip. That'd be just a trip. The Shard is 310 metres, so yeah, it's actually much taller. But
I thought Gary. I think Jerry Croft has come in. Gary Croft has come into the pit.
Jerry.
There you
go. Jerry Maguire, maybe. Who knows? By the way, Whitworth and Violet still fighting. It's the other way around now to what it was for most of the race, where Eric Violet's actually behind now, but still within 0.3 of a second. Quite amazing, really.
I don't know what Gary's up to. Because he's entered and left, then he's entered and entered, and then he's left and entered again.
What, Gary Croft?
Yeah.
No idea. He's probably. Unless he's gone to Google about the Northern Territory, I'm not sure.
Might just be.
Well,
yeah,
he's
this
been
battle...
this is his third visit to the pits in the race. I mean, if you think about it, though. Well, I say if you think about it, he's on the way out of the pits now. He's going to be fast at this point, but he doesn't have really that long left, and he's 45 seconds in the pits. So, who knows what that issue could be, Alex?
Yeah. Don't know. Yeah, strange one, isn't it? Really.
Because especially when you don't really need tyres at this point. Or you wouldn't think so, anyway. Here comes Violet, Adam. Close now, but not able to do anything about Brandon Whitworth this time round.
Okay, looking to see how long it takes to do a lap around
contact,
here.
I think there might have been just a tiny bit of contact.
They've now got the Mustang leader coming now in the face of Steve Brown over the top of the hill. Oh. That was a slide from Brown, and now here comes that's our leader coming through, David Haynes, who's still yet to come into the pits for a second time.
Oh,
Could this be the time?
Brown using all the track.
It is. Into the pits comes Haynes. Then he is definitely going to lose the lead to Ryan Strodbeck.
4 seconds ahead of Mike Dam.
Yeah, so Mike Dam is...
There he is.
Still closing the gap. 0.3 of a second quicker again on that last lap. So it's now down to 3.8 with 15 minutes to go as he goes very wide and has a bit of air for good measure. And that's put the gap back up to 4.4. Amazing how that can do that.
A little bit of change in the traffic or whatever, it can make all the difference. And yeah, just 10.5 seconds between the front three in this race. 15 minutes to go. Alex, do you think there could be any changes here, or
possibly?
Do we think we've seen?
No, I don't think this is over and done with. A couple of bad laps of traffic for Brian, and of course Mike's all over him, and he did take the longer stop, so maybe he has got some extra rubber on the car somewhere. If it was fronts or rears or whatever, but there's every opportunity.
Well, Dan will be hoping that he meets that traffic where the straight sections are. There are 3 straights on this track. 2 of them are quite short, but the Porsche, as we've seen, Adam, it doesn't really need, as he scares Brandon Whitworth out of the way. Mike Dam pushing, and look at that now, he's right with him, he's right with... Oh, that's not him, that's...
No, it's not. Yeah,
I saw red and white, and it's orange, isn't it, dear me?
He actually lost out nearly 2 seconds there, so...
Yeah, 5.6 again.
I just saw another Porsche and I got excited.
Oh, our leader is in the Mustang, so Steve Brown into the pits. Now...
Right then.
This is split the strategies, because last time we had pit stops in the Mustangs, it was Brown and Thomas in at the same time. This time they're going to be pitting on different laps. And away goes Steve Brown with a... yeah. Final pit stop done.
Yeah, still ahead of Nathan Thomas. Good work there. The pit stops have really worked well for Brown, haven't they, Alex?
Just been nailed really quick times. I mean, 11.55 pit stationary time. You know, so quick. I mean, he's clearly out in front, even though Thomas.
Although.
Thomas only had 1 stop, but he must have had another. He must have had 2.
Thomas and Tyler Shiflett now battling. Shiflett took over from Clint Vigas in the May Motorsports car. And go then, Adam, down the back straight, and Cohen's going flying again.
Tyler Shiflett, co-driver with Clint Vigas, who also clips a bit of the grass there going through the right-hander. Using every single bit of the circuit to try and find a way past Stephen Thomas, who is...
big moment.
Nathan Thomas, who's yet to come in for his final visit to the pits. So it'll be interesting to see when he comes in, because Tyler Shiflett has been in for his second stop. So maybe it's just a bit of a waiting game for the Meh Motorsports car to try and get past the Driftline racing car.
I think Brown's had some traffic, has he, Alex? Because it looks like the... Oh no, he hasn't actually had any traffic at all, but he must have just lost some time. Did lose a little bit.
Yeah, still comfortably out there, 10 seconds near enough. What I thought was going to come together with damp, and that, yeah, unfortunately went the other way around, didn't it? And it's Mike that's got held up, so...
Yep.
Looking less and less likely.
A very, very late pit stop for Nathan Thomas, I must admit, with 10 minutes to go here. He, along with Frank Alessi, are the two drivers that are yet to come into the pits for the second time. At least that's what it says on my iRacing timing anyway.
There you go.
But this battle for second place still continues to rage on. We haven't talked about too much in terms of positions gained, just because there's only 20 cars in the field. But Nathan Thomas has gained 3 spots. Russ Ruddick in the Porsches has gained 2. Biggest losers, no surprises in the names that crop up here. Kevin Ford has lost 6 places. He is though now he's managed to get his way past Alex Coffard and Frank Alessi, and he's just got past Matthew Catila as well. So he's now up to 10th.
If he does get past the rest of the Mustangs, they'll have actually only lost 1 position, will Kevin Ford, in the race. So, well, you know, still something to fight for there. And here comes Tyler Schiffler. He's going to go for it in turn 1. Oh, nearly some side-by-side action there in the first corner. Tyler Schiffler trying really hard. This is go time now, Alex, in the last 10 minutes.
Exactly. It's now or never, really, isn't it? Pile the pressure on and try and get by. There's no point in waiting anymore.
No point at all. Wonder, Adam, if he'll send one here, but might be distracted a bit by the Porsche. Too far behind, surely, Schiffler. He will have a look. He'll poke the nose out, maybe to distract Thomas slightly. Thomas goes a bit wide. It may have worked.
Oh, a little love tap.
And now he's side by side with him.
Is he going to try and maintain it
He's
around the
trying to
outside?
use the momentum. Side by side.
He is there. Be careful.
Is there any space? Oh, Thomas sliding the car. This is what we want in the last 10 minutes of the race. Went over the crest. Ford Mustang absolutely dancing in the hands of Tyler Schiffler. Race winner in the Ricmotech Sports Car Series. He wants to be second here this evening, this morning, whatever
Thomas
you make
is
of it.
surely in. Yeah, there we go.
Thomas is in. So really, it's a bit of a pseudo battle, but it was a good one. Tyler Schiffler continues on his merry way. By the way, Violet and Whitworth are still a quarter of a second apart after 77 laps.
And 127 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, we know that this car likes to... We know that these cars like to stick together, right? But, getting a bit silly now, Adam, isn't it?
They're just inseparable, aren't they? They must set the same lap times to pretty much a second each time. And they're using the occasional bit of slipstream as well down the back straight to make sure that they can't leave each other, and their pit stop strategy must be pretty much identical too. And they're doing a good job of following each other home. But surely when it gets to the last few laps, and we're only 6 minutes away from the checkered flag, that the gloves may need to come off, and one of them might fancy their chances of getting a podium in this Mazda MX-5 category. With Edgar Sancinelli being 1 lap down, it really is a case of these two to fight for the podium. One's going to be on it, one's going to miss out.
Yeah, well, neither of them will want to. who's it going to be? Who's going to take P3? Currently occupying that, Eric Violet. And Brandon Whitworth trying to get that back from him. He's got a nice exit out of 2 though. The run down the hill could well be for Brandon Whitworth. Now he's picking up the slipstream. You can see him really closing in. Violet going to defend the inside, or is Whitworth going to try and do a last minute move into there? But the braking area isn't that long. Now Mike Ruddock has to get in on the action, whether he wants to or not, if he's forced to. Yeah, still super close there between these two. Great stuff with 6 minutes or so, 5.5 left.
Tell you what, the man who's been on the move at the end of the race really has been David Haynes. Only 4 seconds behind Mike Dam now. So, very different strategy for him, working out, lapping quicker the last few laps that I've seen. Top 3 really coming together under 10 seconds now. Like I say, a few more laps of bad traffic, and actually what I thought, never know, might still come about.
I mean, how many times do we see that in the sports car series, Alex? At the end of the race, it seems like there's at least one class where it's going to be a super finish.
Well, in the case with Mike. Yeah, sorry, I was going to go answer Alex's question. We've seen it in a few series before where we've seen both classes almost converge on the same part of the track together.
Yeah, we've seen it in this. Oh, here we go. Oh, contact this time.
All right.
We're okay. Somehow they survived that. But Brandon Whitworth decided he was going to throw the nose in and see what happened. In fairness, it was a bit more than just throwing the nose in. He did get alongside, just slid a little bit. What we want to see at the end of the race, and there goes the Porsche. Oh dear, was it contact? I think it might have been. Ryan Strodbeck. A tad.
Yeah. And now that's
a bit of contact. There you go.
That's really separated them now, hasn't it? One thing it has done though is that Mike Dam has got the gap back down to 3 seconds again. But Dam still has to get past these two Mazda MX-5s as we come across the line now to start lap 94.
Yeah, we're not going to get to 100 laps. Some of the drivers, it may feel like it's been 100 laps. Strodbeck leads 3.7 seconds. Mike Dam is closing in, only just though. Alex, I wonder if we could get the gap on the screen and maybe see how that's progressed, because I think Dam is closing in ever so slightly, but just not by a lot.
Yep.
There it is. And actually, it was in that one lap, wasn't it? Again, it seems like there's just most of the laps they're quite evenly matched, and then you've just got, as he makes a mistake, there's Strodbeck that time. If his tyres are starting to leave him just a little bit. What did we say earlier on, Adam? Once you cook the tyres, that is you done. And we've seen a fairly big drop of about a second on the previous lap. So just over a second it was. Now it's 3.1 seconds. Let's see what it is coming over the line this time to start lap 95. And Brian Strodbeck's fighting on for his life here, the American versus the Canadian Mike Dam.
3.1. 23.3. It was a tenth of a second quicker there by Mike Dam. There is a Mustang in between them.
Now under 3 seconds. Alex, it seems like Strodbeck almost maybe struggling for a tiny bit of confidence, or maybe feeling that pressure at the end of the race. He sees Dam closing in slowly.
Yeah, well, there's nothing worse, is there, when you're on the final few laps of the race and the gap just keeps on coming down. Be hoping
Especially
and
if you're
praying. I
leading the
mean,
race.
let's have a look at the traffic we've got in front. I mean, there's a few cars ahead that are going to come into play in the last couple of laps, isn't there, as well? Look, you know, you can see on the mini map that so 5th overall in the Mustangs, and then possibly a lapped Porsche might come in as well, but there isn't an MX-5 there. But not too bad. It's not a big cluster. I think that's the thing. If Brian was coming up to a cluster of 4 or 5 cars, he might be seriously worried right now.
Russell Ruddock's lapping a second and a half slower than these guys, so I think probably going to get away with it. Kevin Ford, incidentally, is going to take 6th place, so he is going to finally get up there ahead of the other classes. Going to see it in a second, or well, in a few seconds, and. Done like
A bit
happens.
late, hasn't he? But yeah, he's got there.
Oh, Brown struggling a tiny bit in the final sector. But you know what? He's done a good job there, and it's not bad at all considering that thing was, the suspension was broken, Adam. It was done for after just 2 laps, really.
And all
It'll
this
be the
time
final lap of the race. 2 minutes 2 hours 15 is up.
And it's 1.1 seconds. It's less than a second. Look, it's the traffic coming in. It's what you said. Strodbeck is getting absolutely punished by this traffic. Mike Dam giving it everything he's got. Is it going to be enough, Adam? I don't think it is.
No, I think he might just get it down to under a second, but Brian Strodbeck, who's been in control of this race since the very beginning, apart from a brief stint mid-race where Mike Dam gave him a bit to worry about, is going to come through the final corner now and win the race.
If he can keep it in the straight and narrow. And he is going to. Brian Strodbeck takes the checkered flag, and he wins here at Mid-Ohio. That is very, very good indeed. He's done the entire race, Strodbeck. 97 laps, and congratulations to him. He wins by just 0.7 of a second.
Here comes
Give it up as well to David Haynes in
Brown.
3rd.
Yeah, and also to Steve Brown, who tore off the competition to take the victory in the Ford Mustang category, with Tyler Shiflett set to come home in 2nd place, championship leader in the Mustang category. So 2nd place will do him the world of good.
That was a hard-fought race for the Mustangs. Really was close. You can see that only one driver who finished the race was actually lapped, and that was Alesi. And yeah, Travis Fenke's going to come across as well very shortly. Leon Wright, we see him taking his 3rd place, but yeah, Travis Fenke's coming into the final sector, Alex. He's done a good job. Yeah,
fantastic race from him. List has got very, very close at the end. Amazing job, but yeah, Travis, solid race. One little mistake, and then really didn't do anything else wrong. That was enough.
A tremendous job there by Travis Fenke. And he takes it here at Mid-Ohio. Consummate job. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And absolutely dominating, Adam.
Really did. Even when he handed the car over to Tom Rathje, Rathje did a great stint and handed the car back over to Travis Fenke with an even bigger advantage, and Fenke was able to get it home from there and finished ahead of Jim List by quite some margin in the end, and Schwenke will be very happy with that.
I'm sure he will. We don't have a hell of a lot of time. We're going to try and get a couple of interviews in if we can. But Alex, just quickly, what were your thoughts on that race?
Yeah, I enjoyed the race. It was good. Some good battles on there. It's always good when there's this little hunt at the end, isn't there? And yeah, that's exactly what we saw. So
got it down to 0.7 of a second. Did Mike down? How close was that?
Yeah, I mean, God, really. What's going on with your results? Something. That's
great
for
work
sure.
there. We can see some points on the screen as well.
Ah, that's
Stephen
right.
Thomas
That's
looks
because
like
I'm not
he's,
pressing the results. I'm pressing the pre-championship for standards.
Might be the wrong button, but I think we're
Yeah,
okay.
wrong button. Very sleepy. Sorry.
Here we go then. Brian Strawbeck takes the win by 0.7 of a second over Mike Dam. David Haynes in third. Russell Rudd at fourth, along with Mike, and then Gary Croft in fifth. Kevin Ford in sixth. Over in the Ford Mustang, Steve Brown won by 9 seconds over Tyler Schiffler. Leon Wright in third. Nathan Thomas fourth. Matt Catila, Alex Coffard, and Frank Alesi. And then the others were Chris Torman and Christian Oss. They were out earlier on. Travis Frankie wins in the MX5s with Jim List 1 lap down. Eric Violet as well. Brandon Whitworth and Edgar Sancinelli slash Michael Key.
Yeah.
Of course, Tom Rathje had some action in the Asbury Motorsports car as well. And Jim List and Bobby Childs shared a car. And yeah, sorry if we missed anybody out on that one, but yeah, it's very, very late here. And I think we're just going to have to see if we get the winners. I think we've just got to do the winners, guys, really.
I agree. Yeah,
as much as we'd like to stick around and speak to everybody, I think it's not going to do our health any good.
Yeah, sorry guys, it's 23 minutes past 3 in the morning, so if we can get the winners to jump up, we'll quickly interview those guys.
Yeah, if we don't, then we'll do the usual and grab Mike Dam, because that seems to work normally. And not Aeronom as well. We seem to miss Aeronom, of course, in the World Challenge, but
he's flying, isn't he?
How many races? He's won every single race he's competed in the current season of the championship. So
there's Brian. If someone wants to grab him up,
do it. I probably don't have any permissions to do so. Right then, Brian Strawbeck joins us in the commentary box. Can you hear us first of all, Brian?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, something else you got was the race win as well. Fantastic job. And what is it like at the end when you've got somebody as good as Mike Dam chasing you down, the traffic's causing you all sorts of problems, and you just get it by 3/4 of a second. How's that feel?
Yeah, I just didn't want to mess anything up. I know you guys, the last race you guys broadcast at VAR, I looped it on the last lap. I didn't want that to happen again.
I did hear about that. I didn't see that one, but I did hear about that. But yeah, redeemed yourself for that then. But in general, 2.25 hours, it must be quite difficult to concentrate, especially on a track like Mid-Ohio. We mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, it's just relentless. It's just corner after corner after corner. How do you manage to stay in the right mindset and stay consistent for the whole race?
Yeah, it's you just got to put your mind to it and just keep hitting your marks, just clicking off the laps, and they start counting down, and it gets to the end, and hopefully you're in front of everybody else. It is a tough track.
What was your idea behind setting the car up then? Because obviously you've got it's one of those circuits where you don't want the rear to step out too much, because you need good traction, you need good reliable traction, but also you need the front end to actually cooperate, because there's a lot of tight corners. What do you do in that situation?
Well, I'm not much of a setup guy. I've just been using the same setup here from week to week that I grabbed off of the forums. So,
well, can we have it? Because
yeah, sure, yeah. There's a whole thing of them on the forums.
So what do you prefer as a driver? Do you prefer the car to? Do you prefer the front end to be sort of pointy, or do you prefer a bit of understeer? And what's the?
I'm probably more. Yeah, I'm probably more of an understeer kind of guy. I don't like to throw the rear end around too much, if I can help it. I got a couple of those today, but I didn't loop it. Thank God.
Well, no, a couple of people did, but not many, thankfully. But yeah, well done anyway. It's getting very late, so we're going to keep it short. But tell us what, if there's anybody you'd like to say thank you to, give some shout outs to your sponsors, your team, whoever.
Sure, yeah, my team, Turn 2 Motorsports. I'd like to say a shout out to Steve that finished first with the Mustangs. And thanks to you guys and Ricmotech. And it's a blast. I'm having a great time with the series.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us in the commentary box. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Sounds good.
Take care. Ryan Strodbeck there, a deserved winner. And yeah, Adam, it must have been difficult at the end because he had that lead, 7 seconds or so it was, and it became whittled down, and then suddenly big chunks of it started coming out.
Towards the very end, and we were speculating before the end of the race, just after the pit stops had been made, whether Strodbeck had taken the 2 tyres and whether this would allow Mike Dam to close the gap. And it nearly did. If it wasn't just for a few more laps, then we could have had a real battle on our hands.
Yeah, I think you're right, indeed. I think we're going to leave it there because we don't have any of the other race winners, I'm afraid, up in the staging room. But thank you to everybody. Sorry we couldn't get to you, to David and to Mike this time, but I'm sure we'll make some time for you next time here on the Ricmotech World Challenge. So from all of us here at Apex Racing TV, it remains for us to say good night from us, and we will see you Tuesday night, the BSR MX5 Cup that returns in the British Sim Racing Touring Car Championship as well on Thursday. Right then, from Andrew Woodhouse, from Adam Bath, and from Alex Simpson, good night from us, good morning from us, and we'll see you guys at the next one. Good night.